the one decision you should never leave for later. Did you know that the average person makes about 35,000 decisions every day? And by the end of the day, your brain is literally too tired to make good choices, leaving you mentally drained and unproductive. This mental drain has a name: decision fatigue. It's the invisible force that saps your energy and derails your best intentions. In today's video, I'm sharing a powerful system that helped me reduce my daily decisions by 70% and break free from the cycle of procrastination. If you found yourself staring blankly at your to-do list, feeling overwhelmed by simple choices, this solution will transform your productivity. Why decision fatigue matters to your success. Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to get started on that important project, even though you really want to? Like, you've got your coffee ready, your desk is clean, you've blocked out the time, but somehow you just can't make yourself begin? Trust me, I've been there too. Your brain has a limited amount of decision-making power each day, almost exactly like a battery that drains with each choice you make. Big or small, every single decision pulls from the same mental energy reserve. And just like your phone battery, once it's drained, you're pretty much out of luck until you recharge. Most people don't realize they're using up their mental energy on hundreds of tiny, unimportant decisions before they even get to the stuff that matters. It's like spending all your money on gum and paper clips, then wondering why you can't afford groceries. I used to waste 30 minutes every morning figuring out what to wear and eat for breakfast. Precious mental energy I could have directed toward my goals. This pattern became clear in my own life a few years ago. I'd start my day with good intentions, planning to write that proposal, create my content calendar, and organize my business finances. But by 3 p.m., I'd find myself staring blankly at my computer screen, unable to decide where to begin. Instead, I'd check email for the 15th time or reorganize desk drawers, anything to avoid making more decisions. The science behind this is fascinating. Your prefrontal cortex, which handles decision-making, uses glucose faster than most other brain functions. Make too many decisions and you're essentially running on empty. Your willpower depletes, your ability to focus tanks, and your productivity drops by up to 40%. There's a famous study about judges that transformed how I understand decision-making. Researchers found that judges give harsher sentences right before lunch when they're mentally tired. That's how dramatically decision fatigue affects judgment. These highly trained professionals making life-changing decisions can't escape the effects of a depleted mental battery. This explains why you end up scrolling Instagram instead of working on your business plan by day's end. Your brain says, "Sorry, we're out of decision juice. Here's some mindless scrolling instead." The worst part? We beat ourselves up for it, thinking we lack discipline or motivation, when we're simply experiencing a biological limitation. Decision fatigue manifests in surprising ways. Maybe you snap at your partner over something trivial, or you can't decide what to eat for dinner, so you order the same takeout again. Or perhaps you postponing that important email because you can't find the right words. All classic signs your decision-making ability is exhausted. I remember one particularly draining day with back-to-back meetings, each requiring multiple decisions. By lunchtime, I found myself at the vending machine, buying chips I didn't even want, simply because I couldn't muster the energy to walk to the cafe for a healthier option. My brain simply defaulted to the easiest choice. This affects our spending habits too. Stores strategically place impulse items by the checkout because they know after making decisions throughout your shopping trip, your resistance to that candy bar is at its lowest point. The real cost is your dreams and goals. When your brain is tired, you default to the easy choice, not the right one. That feeling when you plan to work on your side business after work but end up watching Netflix? That's not laziness. Your brain is conserving its limited remaining energy. Some of the world's most successful people have figured this out. Steve Jobs with his iconic black turtleneck and Mark Zuckerberg with his gray t-shirts weren't making fashion statements. They were eliminating an entire category of daily decisions to focus their mental energy on building world-changing companies. When I tested this concept with a capsule wardrobe of just 10 interchangeable clothing items, the difference was immediate. Beyond reclaiming those 30 morning minutes, I experienced greater mental clarity throughout the day. Important work decisions became easier, and my creative output increased. The cumulative effect is staggering. Researchers estimate the average adult makes about 35,000 decisions daily. Even if most are unconscious or minor, that's thousands of opportunities for mental energy to leak away on things that don't matter. For entrepreneurs, creative professionals, and anyone whose livelihood depends on making good decisions, decision fatigue actively holds back your career and income potential. Would you tire yourself out jogging in place before running a marathon? Of course not. Yet, that's what happens when we waste decision-making power on insignificant choices before tackling important work. The cycle becomes self-reinforcing. The more depleted you are, the more likely you'll either avoid decisions altogether, hello, procrastination, or make impulsive choices you later regret. Those poor choices create more problems requiring more decisions, and the cycle continues. My clients often feel overwhelmed, convinced they need better time management, when what they really need is better decision management. Once we address the root cause, decision fatigue, their productivity naturally improves without forcing themselves to try harder. The hidden enemy draining your mental energy. What if I told you there's a silent productivity killer operating in your brain right now, and you probably blamed yourself for it yesterday? Decision fatigue works exactly like carbon monoxide, odorless, invisible, and by the time you notice the symptoms, it's already drained your most valuable mental resources. You might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if this is actually happening to me? Well, think back to yesterday afternoon. Did you find yourself staring at your computer screen, unable to decide which email to answer first? Or maybe you kept switching between tasks without actually completing any of them? That's decision fatigue in action. Decision fatigue doesn't feel like traditional exhaustion. You won't necessarily yawn or feel physically tired. Instead, your brain simply gives up and says whatever to important choices. And most of us completely misdiagnose what's happening. I experienced this firsthand during a crucial product launch last year. By 3 p.m., I found myself paralyzed over trivial decisions like email subject lines, while major strategy questions went unanswered. My team was waiting for direction, but my mental battery had completely drained without my awareness. That night, I ordered $200 of unnecessary office supplies online simply because my decision-making ability was shot. This pattern repeated for weeks until I realized what was happening. Let me show you the 3 warning signs I missed for years. Procrastinating on simple tasks that require decisions. When you have 10 emails to respond to, and even though each one takes just 2 minutes, you keep avoiding them. Your brain is signaling it's too tired to choose how to respond. Impulse shopping or snacking. After a long day, you're more likely to buy something unnecessary or grab cookies instead of a healthier option. When your decision-making battery is low, your impulse control weakens accordingly. Constantly changing your mind about small things. Bouncing between should I work on this project or that one, maybe organize my desk first. Actually check emails again. This indecision loop about trivial matters indicates your decision-making capacity is running on fumes. Each decision depletes your mental battery. Every choice you make burns through glucose and oxygen at an accelerated rate. Like a phone battery draining faster when multiple apps run simultaneously, your brain's energy reserves deplete with each decision, big or small. Research from the University of Minnesota found that shoppers who made more decisions while shopping were significantly more likely to choose the default option when presented with a final choice. This battery drain effect explains why we often take the path of least resistance when fatigued, rarely the optimal path for our goals. That's why successful people minimize unnecessary decisions. When you understand that decision-making is a limited resource, you treat it like one. It's about being strategic with your mental energy. The sneaky way decision fatigue sabotages productivity is by making you avoid important decisions entirely. When your mental battery is critically low, what's the easiest choice? No choice at all. So you postpone the big decisions that could actually move the needle in your life or career. Additionally, a depleted decision battery pushes you toward quick fixes over long-term solutions. You'll naturally gravitate toward options providing immediate relief rather than lasting benefit. That's why answering easy emails feels better than tackling that big project, even though the project creates more value long-term. A University of California study found that the average person's decision-making quality declines by up to 30% after just 3 hours of continuous choice-making. This means by lunchtime, you're operating with a significantly depleted mental battery, making decisions as if you've lost a third of your brain power. For professionals making critical decisions, this reduction could mean the difference between success and costly mistakes. I witnessed this battery drain effect with a client who solved complex problems brilliantly in the morning. By 2 p.m., the same brilliant executive would spend 20 minutes deliberating about font colors in an email. Same person, same day, just different battery levels. What can you do about this hidden enemy? First, awareness. Recognizing that decision fatigue is real is half the battle. Once you understand your brain has a limited decision-making capacity each day, you can be more intentional about how you use it. The real game changer comes when you track where your mental energy goes. This energy audit identifies which decisions drain you most. Not all decisions deplete your battery equally. Some are massive power drains, and those need targeting first. Stanford University researchers found that simply acknowledging decision fatigue and planning around it improved participants' decision quality by 27% in afternoon tests. That's a substantial improvement just from recognizing the problem and adjusting your decision-making schedule. Unlike physical exhaustion requiring rest, decision fatigue has simpler solutions. Your decision-making ability is a resource you can manage. Master this skill, and you'll accomplish more without feeling mentally drained. The energy audit, finding your decision drains. Your decision-making isn't just a resource. It's a resource being drained through specific leaks in your daily routine. When I finally tracked where my mental energy was actually going, I was shocked to discover the tiny recurring decisions that were bankrupting my focus without me even noticing. Here's the thing about your mental energy. Different decisions require different amounts of mental resources. The problem? Most of us have no idea which decisions are draining us the most. We're walking around with holes in our mental pockets, wondering why we feel so exhausted by 3 p.m. I learned this the hard way last year after hitting complete burnout. I was doing all the right things, getting enough sleep, eating well, even meditating, but I still couldn't focus on important work by afternoon. So I created what I now call an energy audit, a tracking system to pinpoint exactly where my mental energy was going. For 3 full days, I wrote down every single decision I made, from breakfast choices to email prioritization to text responses. Think of it like taking screenshots of your mental processes throughout the day. Next to each decision, I gave it a mental drain score from 1 to 10. With 10 being mentally exhausting and 1 being barely noticeable. The patterns completely changed how I structure my days. I was spending about 80% of my mental energy on decisions that delivered almost no value to my life or work. I was wasting my best thinking on reorganizing my to-do list multiple times a day or debating which workout to do, only to skip it entirely because I was too mentally tired to decide. The biggest revelation? It wasn't necessarily the big decisions draining me. It was the constant small choices that kept interrupting my flow throughout the day. Each tiny interruption was taxing my mental energy, and those taxes were adding up fast. To do your own energy audit, carry a small notebook or use a notes app on your phone for 3 days. Create 3 columns: decision, time, and drain score, 1 to 10. Every time you make a decision, log it with an honest mental drain score. Not how much effort you think it should take, but how much it actually takes. Look for 3 specific patterns. First, identify your high drain decisions, the ones you rated 7 or higher. These are your mental energy vampires. Second, spot decision clusters, times when you're making multiple choices rapidly. Many people experience a cluster first thing in the morning: outfit, breakfast, first task. Third, identify recurring decisions, things you decide repeatedly each day. My audit revealed I was spending significant mental energy deciding when to check email and social media. I'd tell myself, just one quick check at least 15 times daily, then debate whether to respond to messages now or later. By afternoon, I'd burned through so much decision power that I couldn't focus on important projects. Food choices were another major drain. I was deciding lunch while finishing breakfast, then changing my mind repeatedly before mealtime actually arrived. After collecting this data, organize your decisions into 3 buckets: eliminate, automate, and simplify. This framework will transform how you handle mental energy drains. For my social media checking problem, I eliminated random checking entirely. I automated by scheduling specific calendar times for email and social media. For messages requiring responses, I simplified by creating templates for common replies. The results were remarkable. Within a week, I had significantly more mental energy in the afternoons. Projects that previously felt overwhelming suddenly seemed manageable. I stopped having that awful feeling of being busy all day but accomplishing nothing important. One client discovered through her energy audit that deciding which housework to tackle each evening was mentally exhausting. She'd walk in from work and immediately start scanning her apartment for cleaning tasks, creating an endless decision loop. Her solution? She created a simple rotating schedule. Monday is bathroom day, Tuesday is kitchen day. By eliminating the daily "what should I clean" decision, she freed up mental space for things she actually cared about. Many people burn mental energy on "should I work out today" decisions. They decide and redecide multiple times, often not exercising but still paying the full mental cost. By scheduling workouts as non-negotiable appointments, they exercise more while thinking about it less. To make this easy, I've created a downloadable decision tracker for your own energy audit. It has sections for tracking decisions, rating mental drain, and identifying patterns. Plus, it helps categorize each decision for elimination, automation, or simplification. Grab it using the link in the description below. The most powerful aspect of this process is its personalization. What drains my mental energy might differ from what drains yours. The energy audit reveals your unique pattern of decision fatigue, the one decision that changes everything. You know what's weird about decision fatigue? The most expensive mental drain isn't actually a decision at all. It's what happens when you don't decide. In fact, this one decision-making habit is like having a mental energy leak that's running 24/7, and I only discovered it after tracking over 10,000 decisions across my client base. Let me tell you what I found. When I analyzed the data from all those energy audits, one pattern kept showing up again and again. The people who struggled most with decision fatigue weren't necessarily making more decisions. They were making the same decisions repeatedly. They were stuck in this loop of revisiting choices without actually resolving them. So here's the big reveal. The number one decision you should never leave for later is deciding when you'll make your decisions. When you don't schedule your decision making, you end up carrying around dozens of open mental tabs all day long, each one quietly draining your mental battery in the background. Think about that project proposal you've been meaning to finish. Every time you remember it, your brain spins up all the considerations, weighs the options again, feels the pressure, and then you think, I'll deal with this later. That's postponing one decision while keeping all the mental processing running in the background. And you might do this 10 times a day with the same issue. I had a client named Sophia who was constantly exhausted despite not having an especially demanding job. When we did her decision audit, we found something fascinating. She was revisiting the same 5 decisions about 20 times each day. Should she look for a new apartment? When should she have that difficult conversation with her roommate? Should she sign up for that online course? Each time she thought about these questions, she'd consider the options, feel overwhelmed, and decide to think about it later. Harvard researchers call this decision procrastination, and their studies show it consumes up to 7 times more mental energy than simply making the decision once and moving forward. 7 times. That's like driving 7 miles when you only needed to go 1, just because you kept changing routes. Picture your brain like a computer. Every postponed decision is like leaving an application running in the background. it continues consuming RAM and processing power even when you're not actively using it. Eventually, your system slows to a crawl. Psychologists call this the Zygarnic effect, where unfinished tasks and unresolved decisions stay active in your mind, demanding attention and consuming mental resources until they're completed. The solution is surprisingly simple. Decide when you'll decide. For every significant choice in your life, put a time on your calendar specifically dedicated to making that decision. And stick to it. Until that time arrives, give yourself permission to completely drop the issue from your mind. When I implemented this with Sophia, the results were immediate. She blocked out 30 minutes every Monday to evaluate her housing situation and another 30 minutes on Wednesday to draft that conversation with her roommate. The rest of the week, whenever those thoughts popped up, she'd remind herself, I have a time scheduled to decide this, and let it go. Her energy audit scores improved by 40% in just 2 weeks. For me, content planning happens every Friday at 2 p.m. Period. I don't think about it at any other time. If a great idea comes up, I jot it down and forget about it until Friday. This change freed up enough mental energy that I increased my output by 3 additional videos per month without feeling any more tired. When the scheduled decision time actually arrives, you bring your full mental resources to it, not the scraps left over after a day of fatigue. A Princeton study showed that participants who scheduled specific decision times made choices they were 58% less likely to regret later, compared to those who made the same decisions spontaneously or repeatedly deferred them. For truly urgent matters, make the decision immediately and completely. The problem isn't making quick decisions. It's making partial decisions that keep mental processes running in the background. Scheduling your decisions is like properly closing those applications when you're not using them, freeing up resources for whatever you're focusing on right now. I recommend starting with just 3 main decision categories in your life. For me, it was content planning, Fridays at 2 p.m., business investments, first Monday of each month, and personal development choices, Sunday mornings. Everything that falls into these categories gets deferred to its proper time, and complete deferred, not just postponed while I continue to worry about it. Be strict with yourself about not revisiting these issues outside their scheduled times. This takes practice because our brains love to chew on unresolved problems. When you catch yourself slipping back into those thoughts, remind yourself, I have a time for this decision, and now is not that time. One client described it as finally closing all the tabs in my brain. Another said it felt like someone turned down the volume on the constant mental chatter. This isn't about getting more done. It's about living more fully in each moment because you're not mentally elsewhere, wrestling with decisions you're not actually making right now. Your first assignment: identify one recurring decision that you revisit throughout your day. Pick a specific 30-minute block this week when you'll make that decision once and for all. Put it on your calendar, and until then, give yourself permission the morning to drop routine it that saves you from your mind. That calendar technique works wonders for big decisions, but what about all those tiny choices eating away at your mental energy every morning? You know, the what should I wear and what's for breakfast moments that seem small but add up fast. Most people try tackling decision fatigue by focusing on major choices, completely missing that it's actually those little daily decisions quietly draining their brain power before 9 a.m. even hits. Here's what I discovered after working with hundreds of clients. The most effective way to combat decision fatigue isn't rethinking how you make decisions, it's eliminating them entirely. A decision that doesn't exist can't drain your mental battery. And the easiest place to start is with those first hour of the day choices that happen when your brain should be at its freshest. I had my own revelation about this when I found myself staring at my closet one Tuesday morning for 15 minutes, completely stuck on what to wear while a major project deadline loomed. That 15 minutes of decision paralysis cost me my most productive morning hour. This experience led me to develop what I call the morning decision detox. A ridiculously simple strategy. Spend 15 minutes the night before making all your morning decisions in advance. What does a morning decision detox look like? For me, it starts around 9 p.m. when I lay out tomorrow's outfit, down to the socks and accessories. I prep my breakfast, and I write down the 3 most important tasks I need to tackle first thing. The key is being super specific. Not work on project, but write introduction section for client proposal. One client named Jamie transformed her approach completely. She created morning stations throughout her apartment. Bathroom counter with toiletries arranged in order of use, kitchen with a designated breakfast corner, work bag packed by the door, coffee mug next to the machine with grounds measured. I went from a frantic 78 minutes of constant small decisions to a smooth 31 minutes of just executing a plan, Jamie told me. That extra 47 minutes of high-energy morning time has been life-changing for my creative work. The science explains why this works so well. Researchers at Cornell University found our baseline cortisol, stress hormone, is naturally elevated by about 50% within 30 minutes of waking up. It's called the cortisol awakening response, designed to energize you. When you immediately add decision-making on top of that elevated stress state, you're starting your day in mental overdrive. Your prefrontal cortex functions best when stress levels are optimized, not maxed out. By eliminating morning decisions, you allow your brain to use that natural cortisol boost for focus and energy rather than choice-making. Think of your morning mental energy like water flowing through a pipeline. Each decision is a potential clog that restricts flow. Clear these blockages the night before, and your mental energy flows freely toward what matters most. Here are 5 key decision categories that deliver the biggest morning energy savings when eliminated.